Hi everybody! So this is going to be my first video. I decided to make a YouTube channel because one of my best friends, Neve O'Toole, she has a YouTube channel here. And I've been watching her do YouTube now for the past couple months, and the more I watch her, the more I want to do it. And I just figured, why not? So I wanted to make a helpful video for my first video. So I was looking around and I just recently bought the Catrice 24-hour Made to Stay foundation, and I really enjoyed it. So I wanted to give a review on it because I went to look for reviews myself and it was really hard to find one that was in English. Most of them were in German because I believe it's a German brand, so makes sense. So I figured I'd do a review on that today. So this is in the shade 005 Ivory Beige, and this is the lightest shade. They don't have a wide shade selection. There's about 5 shades, I think. And it says that it's supposed to last up to 24 hours and have perfect coverage. It's mattifying with antioxidants. So yeah, and it just says to shake well before use. It has a really nice pump on it. So I guess we'll get into testing that. So I have been using this for the past, I want to say a couple weeks, like 2 weeks, and I really have been enjoying it, but the only thing is that if I had bought this back in winter, it would have been too tan for me. So luckily I get to use that now. So I'm just starting off with my L'Oreal Infallible Mattifying Base. I'm just going to put that on my T-zone. And then kind of just spread the extra across my face. Alrighty. Okay, so now I'm just going to take the foundation, and it has a really nice pump on it, so I'm just going to take about 2 pumps is what I found works for me. It's not too liquidy, but it's not super stiff either. So I just take that on the back of my hand, and then I just dab that around my face. So I have tried this with a brush, and it kind of left some strokes in it, and I found that the Beauty Blender works better, or I use the Real Technique sponge, so that's just what I'm going to use to blend it in. So it is a 24-hour makeup, so it does tend to set pretty quickly, so you do have to work fast, and that's why I found that the Beauty Blender works better, is because it like keeps it damp longer, so it's easier to blend it out. Just work that down my neck. Okay, so that blended out really nicely. It says mattifying, but I'd say it's more of a demi kind of matte finish. And I have very dry skin, so whenever I hear mattifying foundation, that tends to not work for me because it just dries me out like no tomorrow. So, I mean, what I like about this is that it doesn't cling to any dry spots or patches. It doesn't really crease up or anything. And it has a really smooth finish. This is one of my favorite, I guess, drugstore foundations. I think it works really well. Yeah, it has quite a nice finish to it. It's not really clinging to anything. So yeah. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply my concealer. So I'm going to use my Tarte Shape Tape underneath the eyes, and the reason I'm just showing this on camera is because I did get the new little Real Techniques concealer sponges. They're the little tiny ones that are purple, and I just wanted to try it out. This is my first time trying it, so I figured I'd do it on camera too. So I just got this Tarte Shape Tape for a week ago when my mom went back to the States. I actually live in Dublin in Ireland. I grew up in the States though. That's why I sound like this. Anyway, she went back to the States and got me this concealer, so been giving it a try. My only problem with it is that this is the light shade, and it's still it's right on the edge of being usable for me. And I'm tanner than I am in the winter. Shocking, I know. I just use this under my eyes because I find if I spot conceal with it, it's too dark. It doesn't look right. So I'm just going to go in with this and blend it out. That worked really nicely. I actually really like these. I had watched some reviews on them and people were like, oh, you don't really need it, that kind of thing. And obviously you don't really need a lot of this stuff. Like it's makeup, it's for collecting, and it's fun. But I have to say that this I always find is too big to get right in that inner corner, and this worked perfectly. That was so easy. Yeah, I'm definitely glad I got these. Alright, so I'm just going to finish the rest of my makeup, and I'm going to come back and show you guys what it looks like all blended out and everything, and how the rest of the makeup kind of sits on top of it. Okay, so I'm back and I finished the rest of my makeup. My final thoughts on it, which are pretty much the same that I've had for the past few times that I've used it, is that it's very smooth. Like, I really like this foundation. Basically, it looks really nice on the cheeks. It doesn't cling to anything. But I do have quite a strong line across my forehead, and that actually runs in my family. So it's a lot more than most people, and this actually covers it better than a lot of foundations do. Another one I have really bad is I get really bad like smile lines, and this just doesn't settle into my smile lines at all, which is really, really nice. Okay, so here's a close-up of my skin. Looks pretty smooth. You can see a bit of kind of lines in my forehead, but not near as bad as they could be. But the cheeks are really smooth. No creasing around my mouth whatsoever. Yeah. I think it looks pretty good. I'm really liking this. It's really, really smooth, and I just really like this foundation. I think it's really worth it. It's, I think, $7.90 at Penneys. So, I mean, it's a really great deal. It's really cheap, and you get 1.01 fluid ounces, so average size, and it's really cheap. So that's great. My final thoughts on the little sponge. I really liked it. I thought it was useful. I thought it really helped blend out my concealer nice and evenly and quickly. It was a lot faster than if I'm using the regular sponge, because I'm really having to try to get into the creases of my eyes, whereas this one was really, really quick. Now, do you need it? No. Is it nice? Yes. Okay, so I'll check back in with you guys in a couple hours and show you how my makeup's doing. Okay, so I've had the foundation on now for about 6 hours, and as you can see, I don't really have any shininess. It stayed pretty matte, but again, I have dry skin, so I don't get super oily typically throughout the day anyway. Get up close and see it stayed on pretty well. Don't have any creasing really. You can see the creases a little more on my forehead there. That's not too bad. Yeah, there's no clumping or anything. It's still staying on. I'd say that this foundation is gonna be, it's about a medium coverage. It's buildable, so you could make it full coverage, but just on one layer like I wear it, it's about medium coverage, but we're doing pretty good. So I'll check in with you guys whenever I'm about to go to bed and I'm gonna take the makeup off. Alright, hi you guys. So this is going to be my last check-in here for the foundation. It is about 10 o'clock, so the foundation's been on for about 12 hours now. I'm just going to give you guys a close-up of it. So as you can see, the foundation's still really good. It's still pretty matte. I have a bit of a shine, but it's nothing crazy. It's pretty smooth. There's no creasing around my mouth, nothing around my nose, and you can see on my forehead is good as well. So yeah, I really like this foundation. I think it's totally worth the, $7.90 you pay. It's super cheap, super good. And I mean, it really does last a really long time. I could have this on for another 12 hours and I still think it'd be fine. Actually, I did fall asleep once with it on my face. I was doing a project and I fell asleep and was asleep all night with it on. Woke up the next day and I still had foundation on my face. It was pretty impressive. I think this would be really great for all skin types. It's pretty good at controlling oils, and it's good for dry skin as well. It's not going to cling to any dry patches. So this is just my review on this foundation. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!